Hey guys, Akiba here from CryptoSlate. Today, on today's episode of the SlateCast, we're going to be talking about Axie Infinity with Chief from AxieGG. Stay tuned. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I'm going to bring in Chief now. How you doing, Chief?
What is good, my man? I'm doing amazing. It's been another fantastic day. Things are rolling, and I'm glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me. I appreciate it.
No, thanks for joining us. It's quite interesting. In the UK, Chief is often used in replace for like Bud or Mate. So quite people are like,
Ah,
hey, Chief, how you going? So it's kind of funny
oh,
for me.
it rolls right off the tongue then. There you go.
Yeah. So tell us a little about AxieGG. You're a gaming guild within Axie, correct?
Correct. So I joined Axie almost 4 years ago. I'm in like my fourth year. As soon as I saw the game, I was like, okay, this is legit. Owning your own Pokemon, that sounds like the future to me. I was always a trading card player back in the day. So I understood the whole like, oh, this is my card. You want it, you trade me. But now it's like, oh, you buy it off me with Ethereum or something. Cool. Um, I got into it. I instantly wanted to turn it into an esports. And to have an esports, you have to have a team. So it kind of went hand in hand. And I started with, building a team. And for the first year and a half, I think we won about 90% of the tournaments.
Oh, wow.
It was a wild time. Indez, who's considered probably the greatest player of all time, was the first guy that I brought from Web2 esports over to Web3 to compete at a high level. And from
Very
there on,
cool.
we just kind of rolled with it, and it was a very fun time.
So the first thing I want to ask you is, how do you feel kind of the Web3 gaming space has evolved over the last 12 months?
So that's a great question. It blew up because of the scholarship system. That was actually done by me and my two partners at AxieGG. We came up with that. What I had done is I used esports players on my NFTs, on my Axies to compete, and then we'd share the rewards. And then we realized, wait, it's super safe. So we were like, wait, we can scale this. And then the scholarship system like emerged out of nowhere. So that had everything explode. So that had a good and a bad side to it. The good side is obviously we're talking about it now because of that, right? Everyone knows about it now because of the boom. The downside is the boom wasn't planned correctly because Axie didn't plan it. It wasn't their fault. It just kind of happened, and they're like, "Oh crap, what do we do?" So they have been kind of reeling because of that. But this is the Web3 space, and the whole point is that we solve problems, that we find creative ways to solve problems. Before, there was never tokenomics in games, that none of that mattered. It didn't exist yet, but all of a sudden it does. It does matter a lot. So to your question, this has been what's been evolving the last 12 months is there's been a lot of mistakes from everyone, not just Axie, just in general in the space, right?
Yeah.
And lots of trial and error, and everyone's out there trying to do the right thing, but no one's quite sure what the right thing is yet. It feels like, people have tried the multi-coin system. Some of them are trying the single coin. Some people are going with like 3 or 4 coins in their ecosystem. So they're trying everything right now, which means in the next year or two, we're going to have the answers of what is more efficient. Marketplaces are starting to open on different games. Axie is obviously very far ahead. Ronin, they built Ronin, which has, huge potential because Ronin is actually really good. It works really well. What are the competitors right now? It's Immutable, it's Polygon, and after that, it's kind of not much at the moment for gaming. And Ronin has its 30,000 users every single day without fail, so that's not too bad. And so we're seeing these things come into place. We're seeing the networks, the network effect starting to take place with people. So a lot of the mainstream is hating, but the smart Web3 people are still like, okay, no, this is cool. This makes sense. And they're coming. People are coming. A lot of the gamers are starting to see these different games, starting with Axie, but now with new games coming. We've seen some big esports teams announce that they're joining other games, not Axie so far. And Axie's also had a couple big names like MMG that's been coming into the scene. So we're seeing the esports teams come over. We're seeing, some Web2 companies be like, ooh, interesting. While some are like, nope, not happening.
Yeah.
Not doing it.
I think, trad gaming or legacy gaming media still hates anything related to blockchain. I think it's something that's really fascinating. I was talking to Jason Schreier on Twitter the other week, trying to get him to open up to the idea of Web3 gaming, and he was just very anti-crypto, just anything crypto related. He's like, no, it doesn't make sense. It's not for me. And I feel it's naive. I feel like it reminds me of what people were saying when like the NES came out in the 80s. Like, oh, this will never be a thing. Why do you want to sit in front of a TV all day? Go outside and touch grass. Like, yeah, touching grass is good, but so is gaming. So
yeah. Well, the problem is they lose control. Web2, a lot of them don't want to give it up, just like, the gas industry doesn't want electric cars to be a thing. They lose all their money. Nobody, they don't want to lose their power. Once it becomes a coin and it has an economy, it's not based as much on them as it is on, what's around them. Is their economy good? Is it strong? Is their community strong? So that's kind of the thing, right? Those are all tasks right now they don't feel ready for, maybe, or they don't even want to mess with. It's like, why? Things are running so well as they are. Why would I change it?
So one of the things I'd like to touch on, you said about how well Ronin's working. Obviously, there's a big elephant in the room there. Obviously, the Ronin hack that happened, the one big thing where it didn't work very well. How is Axie recovering from that now, do you feel?
I was just at AxieCon. It happened pretty close thereafter. It was always, I was wondering, like, how is this going to work? And it kind of showed me one thing, like, I think they might just be too big to fail. $500 million disappeared, and nothing. It was just like business as usual. The mistake that they made wasn't like the chain's functionality, right? This mistake was much larger. It was a little bit of a oopsie combined with like a coordinated attack. And the oopsie just kind of let them in. And when you let in somebody that's as strong as I'm not going to say any names, but as those guys, they take advantage real quickly, right? So they're fine. It hurts. It sucks. It was a learning lesson. It definitely spread out some of the AXS from some of the founders. They had to give up some of their portions, but that is what it is. You got to pay for your mistakes, but they did, and now they're coming out stronger. The community is revitalized. Origins is doing good. We had the World Championship, which was they crushed it. They absolutely crushed it. It was amazing, the experience, especially for us OGs who have been around for 3-4 years, to be like, whoa, this is real life. And from that, the community is now stronger than ever. The core parts, the people that are building are working together. They've, come together in person. There's a lot more trust now than before. And it was already a very trusting community. And so things are going well. It feels really good right now. It's very exciting, a lot of energy.
So I'm building on that then. You mentioned earlier, I completely agree with that. Axie brought a lot of eyeballs to the Web3 gaming space. Do you feel pressure running a guild that is seen as kind of like a guild within a game that's like a pioneer for the space?
I don't pressure, like, when I get on a stream or go to do a live talk, I feel pressure. I'm human, right? I love pressure. I thrive off of it. And when it comes to stuff like this, no, I feel very good about the decisions I make. I never do anything that hurts anybody. I'm always trying to make sure everyone wins, because in Web3, this isn't a zero-sum space. We don't need to compete against each other. We need to work together, right? So I'm always trying to reach out, work with opponents. When we lost in the grand finals, I congratulated the guy that beat my player twice. And it hurt both times, but I was like, he deserves it, man. Game 7, World Finals. That's awesome. And I'm dying that I lost, but it was part of the process, and the process has been long and hard, and it feels good. And I don't feel any pressure. I just keep doing what I think is right. I just keep going with the flow. It's been working marvelously. And at this point, there is no books, there's no rules on how to do this. It's the first time. So I'm just enjoying the ride. And excited to write a book one day about, this year and then the 10 years and all that, because it's nuts. It's crazy and it's fun. And I like that I get to do things so freely and just make decisions, wing it. You know, we're sitting down there with 6 dudes planning out 6 months of content for multiple games, a lot of it Axie. And it's like, oh wait, we have this idea, let's do it, because I think that's good for the future of the community, of the sport, of the hype, all of it. And you know, we'll see if it works, but so far it's been going well. And I enjoy being, you know, at the tip of the sword, being a pioneer in the space, and just building.
Yeah, I'm completely with you. So my legacy career is coming from Web2, and I ran a marketing agency for like 15 years, and I hated networking. Like, I absolutely hated it. It was the bane of my existence. In Web3, going to events, it's the most fun ever. I mean, I'm a professional extrovert by default. I'm quite introverted. Yeah, I've got no issue going and just talking to people. As you say, it's a matter of, it feels so collaborative. I don't feel any animosity between projects, and I completely like align with you on that. That it's such a collaborative space, and it's so different. Not just Web2, but just the rest of the world, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, man, it's incredible. Web3 space is absolutely incredible. There's nothing like it anywhere. I've been in it for like 4 years now, but going to AxieCon was the first time that I got to meet all the people that I know, right? And it was like, wow, the amount of brain power, the amount of excitement, the amount of happiness and smiles, the lack of testosterone, amazing. Absolutely amazing. Really, really enjoyed it. There was one guy there that made a scene. One guy out of, you know, hundreds and hundreds of people. And that's how it should be. That's freaking awesome. And there's always the one guy. There's always the one guy.
I couldn't agree with you more with what you just said. I feel exactly the same in the space. So you're talking about competition. It's something I did want to sort of bring up. So there's a lot more competition around like Unreal and Unity based games that are kind of really focusing on other aspects of kind of gameplay. Is that something that you welcome into the space? Do you see it as the next evolution?
Oh, absolutely. I think end game for crypto gaming is a good World of Warcraft, well done with a good economy. Like that just makes so much sense, a game like that. Shooters, the only problem with shooters is when there's a health bar, there's bots, right? Are we good? Are we still there?
Yeah, we're still good.
Okay, I lost for a second. Okay. Shooters have the problem with the health bars and botting, and if it's a crypto game with money, that becomes very lucrative to cheat. As long as they can keep that under control, hell yeah. I think it's awesome. I love all the little shooter games that are currently on the web, in the Web3 space. And they're all like crappy little ones, right? Like little, like bad graphics, easy to play, quick to enter, browser based, but it's fun. And it's fun to earn while you play a shooter, because you can sit there for hours and like, oh wait, okay, maybe I made like $3 in my 6 hours, but I do this every day anyway. So this week I made $25. And if you're in a developing country, you're hyped. And even if you're a 15-year-old in the States and you're making that money, I would have been hyped. Playing Halo back in the day for 1 cent a kill, I would have been hyped. I would have been like, okay, let's tally up at the end of the month.
No, I love it. So within that and with that evolution, there is a lot of talk. I interviewed kind of people from Xborg and PokerStarter Gaming, and they're really trying to focus less on the earn aspect of the game, and kind of, I think they're talking more like play and earn rather than play to earn. Is that something you agree with? Do you see that as the next evolution, or is it something you'd push back on?
I think we're taking it a step further. We're just calling it win to earn. That's what esports for everyone is calling it, win to earn. Because that is the only way these economies work. You have to be the best. You have to be at the top. And you have to earn it. You can't earn just for pressing the buttons. You have to earn for winning, because that's how you can build hype. That's how you can build social media. That's how you can build a narrative. That's how you do that's how you get value back for the money that's going into those prizes, right? You can't just give away money. You have to give it away. It has to be competitive, and you have to be able to talk about it, have world championships, have big tournaments, have streams. And people don't want to see the top 64 players. They want to see the top 8. You know, and so it's a little bit more like traditional esports, but you can spread it out a lot more than in traditional esports, because there's bigger prize pools for easier games. You can let the prizes trickle down lower, but it has to be win to earn. You have to earn your cut. You can't just get money because you're there.
I think one of the things on that. I think one of the things on that point that I've heard, which really fascinated me, is like which people may not sort of realize, is the payout system as well within Web3. There's lots of talk about people in Web2 esports that have never received their prize pools for winning tournaments, whereas within Web3 it can be instant. Like it's on the blockchain. You win the game, you get paid, like, and you can get paid easily. Whereas like when you've got like a 12-year-old that doesn't have their own bank account, how do they receive the prize money? That like
PayPal,
all the
blah blah.
difficulties there.
Yep, yep. It's a huge
So
issue. And we're actually making memes about that right now because one of the larger game companies, again, I won't name names, but everyone knows this one. They're like, nope, you're affiliated with crypto, no Web3, nope, not touching it. Sorry. So all of our memes right now are about them, you know, basically that, like, crypto payouts, one click, 64 people auto payout in any currency you want, on any platform you want, basically. Community gaming, done. For Web2, what's your PayPal? I'm 12. Okay, so what do I do now? I don't know. Figure it out. You're not even old enough to play this game.
yeah, I know it's crazy and it's unfair as well because these players are doing so well. You also then don't know whether, unfortunately, some may be kind of being they're not receiving the money if it's got to go to their parents' account. Do they actually then get it? Are their parents
Yeah,
then just using them? Like you've got that worry as well, especially in some places of the world.
absolutely, absolutely. It's too centralized. It's nonsense. That's why we love Web3. Every time I have to go in PayPal, I'm like, ooh, and then it's like, we're holding this money for 2 weeks because I'm like, whatever, dude, whatever. It'll be there in 2 weeks. Cool. I don't use this more than once a month anyways. Great. But it's odd. You know, for a crypto person, going back to the Web2 ways is really odd. It's strange.
So what do you see as kind of the future now for AxieGG? You talked about other games. Are you looking to move away just from Axie Infinity? Is it something that's always going to be there, do you think?
So it's a two-part answer. I think Axie is going to be there for a while. I don't think it will be the leading game forever. Because again, these like Unreal Engine, the real games are going to come eventually, right? And then Axie's too simple. We need a more complex game. For what it is, it's great. Because again, what we talked about at the beginning, so much that still needs to be figured out before a game, the AAA people are even willing to mess with it, to touch it, right? A lot of them. So that'll be a process. I think it'll be around though, probably for a long time. You never want to say forever. Forever is a forever long time, but for a long time for sure. And I think that we're just going to keep moving in the esports direction. That is, for me, the clear-cut way to promote Web3 gaming is when as the games get better, have good tournaments, make sure there's good production. AxieGG is going to compete in as many games as possible, you know, as we get in. Esports for everyone, my main thing that I'm pushing right now is doing tournaments in about 7 different games. We're talking about expanding to another 6 at the moment, plus big events for Axie and other, you know, all kinds of games right now. Some Web 2 like Clash Royale, some Web 3 like Cometh. We're gonna do TFT. We're gonna do so there's a bunch of them, whole bunch of different stuff that we're working on right now.
Super
On both,
exciting.
as a team and as an organizer.
That sounds super exciting, and I look forward to seeing what happens with that. So, if people wanted to get involved and follow and support AxieGG, what should they be doing?
People want to get involved, they need to get on Twitter. Twitter is definitely the main space for all of this. I got to get a charger. I'm sorry, bro. Just a bit of a show. It's been wild lately. Sorry.
It's okay.
All right. Question was, can you repeat the question? I'm ready.
I was just asking if people wanted to get involved, want to support AxieGG, where would they go?
Yeah, so they'd get on Twitter, follow AxieGG there, or Instagram. We have AxieGG official. You can follow me at chief_AxieGG. Esports for everyone. If you follow me, you'll find all the other ones basically. That's the main place. We're going to be opening up more YouTube presence from Esports for Everyone. We're also going to be starting a TikTok for Esports for Everyone. I do Axie music. I do random songs.
Okay, cool.
That if you want to check that out, that's one of them is posted on my Twitter currently. We have another 3 songs ready. One with music video. One we're doing right now. I'll do a mini leak, working with the Axie sisters, Lima and probably Cloud White, to do a little collab, and it's freaking legit. So it's gonna be freaking awesome, man. We're doing so much cool stuff right now. It's actually insane. It's freaking wild. That's why my phone's not charged. That's why I have 12 people in my room. But it's amazing, and there's a lot of stuff coming. So if people are interested in this space, if they want to know about esports, Axie Infinity, crypto games, if they are interested in any games at all, Esports for Everyone is the place. You know, there's auto payouts. It's free to enter. Web2, Web3 games. It's the place to be right now, and it's growing. And so that's if they want to come hit us up, play in some tournaments, give us some love on Twitter. That'd be awesome.
Brilliant. Well, there you go. You've got it all from Chief himself right there. So, Chief, for this episode of the SlateCast, thank you very much. Just wait around in the backstage area for a second. But for this episode, thanks for being here, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Absolutely, man. Anytime, let me know. If you guys have any roundtables, group discussions, if you want to get me in there, I'm pretty flexible as long as you give me like a week notice. Let's do the tingy, man. It was fun. It was a pleasure.
That's great. All right. Speak to you again. Cheers.
Later, man. Have a good one, everyone.